Watch the following closely and you'll understand some of the logic behind the AT ladder strategy and how it takes the hard trade and turns it into the right trade. This is a crucial concept to understand. It's not a term you'll find in any trading book. It's one I came up with myself. I did it from years of experience because I've been on the wrong side of the market trying to pick a top when there's no reason to do so, rather than going with the flow. And that's how I came up with a hard trade is more often than not the right trade. What do I mean by hard trade? Hard to find a good entry level with a reasonable stop. A reasonable stop means one that fits your risk reward. Now, what happens when you're building, we call an episode to the upside with momentum, the farther you get away from the low, which is the place that most people would want to, most traders would want to place their stop, the harder it is to go long because it's probably too much risk, is too far away, the market's moved too far already. So rather than go with the flow, at every pause and every new high, when there is a pause, you'll find a group of traders who will come in and try to pick the top when using our strategy, there's no reason to pick a top yet because momentum's pointed to the upside. And the reason they look to sell rather than buy is because they can't find a reasonable stop to put on a trade from the long side. Now we've overcome that with the ladder strategy. So you know how it works. We put a stop below the most recent amazing trader line, and we enter a trade, a buy in this case, based on that stop. So where the average trader can't find a stop, and therefore they take the easy route, which is really the sucker bet, trying to pick a top, we've overcome that by taking the hard trade and making it, following the ladder strategy, quote, an easy trade. Because you know where your stop is, you enter a trade based on your stop, and you look for ladders to build in the direction of the current episode. So that's how the hard trade is more often than not the right trade, and the easy trade is more often than not the sucker bet trade. And just to be clear, this concept works equally well on the downside when you have blue ladder lines pointing in that direction, and the market moves farther and farther away from the high. So average trader has trouble putting on a short because he can't find a reasonable stop. We've overcome that through the AT ladder strategy.